Hello guys, and welcome back to Let's Play OpenTTD. I'm DeathDroid88, and in the last episodes we were just continuing to go on to the year 2000. See how close we can get to $250 million. The rate we're going, we're not doing too bad. We're making about 10 million a year roughly. It's the end of 1992, because we're almost in December. And I think at this point it's just sort of figuring out these small things we can add on here and there. That's about it. We could probably start running coal from over here. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Or that branches off up here. We can make an intersection there. Or over here. We could run into here. This seems like not a bad idea. Running into there. Have to continue with that city, it looks like, to get all the way down. But that's okay. You're just going to keep stating stuff there. So I think we'll start expanding the railroad that way. Because why not? Alright, so I have to remember to keep it on electrified railroad. That always seems to be an issue I keep running into for some reason. Yeah, we're going to run almost directly, well, we're running essentially through the heart of that city. And let's see what we can do about that. Could run into tunnels here. Yeah, so if we ran into tunnels there, what would we run into on the other side? Over here. That's a long tunnel, at least in my opinion. Could probably, yeah, if we know it's going to be through here, can probably bring these down a couple. That'll prevent the city from expanding over it. And then we can actually equalize and go that route. That seems to be a good way to solve that problem. This game isn't always about placing everything everywhere, it's just sort of solving how to get through everywhere. As I've shown you before with the massive amount of trains that we have. Now what do I want to run into here? I want to run you into here, because then we can have a little bit more coal. I know there's a coal station way out here, because coal is the one thing right now that we seem to be depending on a lot. It's not the main industry, but it's one of the major ones that I have. Well, actually, I think it is pretty much the main industry I have running right now, at least through most of the map. Now it's going to start listing all the profits of the vehicles there. Yeah, so if we equalize this out here, we do get to a point where we can, I know the game freaks out sometimes when I do these things, and that'll work. I guess you can run a river over a bridge. I forget these things some days. Do you extend like that for a ways? I think the main thing is going to be picking up that guy right there, which we will work on right now, because if we equalize this stuff out, here we go. Now I know one thing I was going to try and look into was I have a buddy I could maybe get to play with this with me, Like, I have a college friend and then I have an old friend that I could have play this with me probably. So I'd have to talk to both of them. And we could try and do something together. I'm not sure if that's going to work out with both of them due to their time schedules and how busy they are. But I'm sure I could probably get one of them to play. We could do some Skype commentary or something. It seems to be one way to go about it. And no, I do not want to use that train. Because that's going to be the last fastest train I think we can put on these tracks. Alright, let's see. 248. That's quite a ways. And the aircraft are still freaking out. I think we've already spent like $1 million in constructing this alone, it seems like. Would not be surprised. Now we'll work on this part here. And that right to about there. And here. Entry, and then 2 exits. That line's connected up now. Now where do I want to put a train depot? Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to run right here-ish, it seems. Alright, length at 20, and then cut back into the tracks. Do that on the other side too. Signals don't quite match up, but that's going to be okay. It's actually going to work in our favor in the way this is set up. And I know if I continue on with this, there's going to be, at some point we're going to use a lot of that money to just push into maglev or monorail, one of the two. Let you immediately come off there, and immediately here. So there's that. Hope I didn't run into the way of anything. I think, yeah, 40 is still what we use as a standard, because then I don't have to go through and set up all the different cargoes for everything. Because otherwise, by default, I believe these guys are meant to carry mail, like some of the other trains are meant to carry mail. And you're going to do full load, make 2 of you, and go. And if you keep breaking down there, I may just throw in a depot somewhere in here. Alright, he was just having a couple issues there. Not too bad. As you can see, this is starting to become busy here. Quite busy in this area. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to run another power plant somewhere around here, like this guy. And what else? Well, we do have oil industry, and we also do have a farm, so we could use those. And we also have this other train station, or this other coal plant here we could use. I'm just going to see how this runs into, okay. We want him to go further, and then cut over. You go down 1. Yeah, I can deal with 1. Alright, yeah, those signals are going to be a bit of a pain, but that's okay. The other thing I was going to look into with this game is to see if there's a little bit different of an economy mod, or maybe even creating one myself. because, well, the economy is good in this game. It's not exactly what it should be in my opinion, because it's not as prevalent, I guess. It just seems like it should fluctuate more, in my opinion. But maybe that's just because I haven't messed around with the settings enough. Yep, that'll work. We'll make that a whole block. Run you a little bit that way. Now we should have these guys working well. To exit and entry. So now we have that one. So now we can run trains off of that. Yeah, that guy's a little bit faster with more horsepower. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to upgrade everything to that one. Of course, then we could reduce the amount of trains we need. That's the other thing too, is when you upgrade to something much faster than what you had before, you end up needing a lot less trains because you can transport more cargo faster. Like right now we have almost 90 trains. I assume as soon as we get into like the maglev or the monorail, we're probably going to cut that by at least a third, because while there is all this track everywhere, they're going to be able to handle, it's going to be a little bit more in tonnage they can handle for the same length of train, and it's also going to be a lot faster train. If that makes sense. Do I want to connect this? Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to connect this guy up. Then we can transport cows. Am I off by one? I'm off by one. Okay. The only reason I want to be on is so that I can integrate this sort of into one whole intersection. There we go. And we just need to add in this guy, or that for this guy, and then that guy. Now I'm adding a lot of trains in a short amount of time, at least that's what it feels like to me, because normally in these episodes I would have added probably a few more things, well, a few less things in the same amount of time, but for some reason this is not giving me that many issues, so it just feels weird not having issues for once. And yep, we'll transport cows. Why not? We'll use one of those. Yeah, we'll have you go from here. Where is our factory? I think we had the factory set up here, didn't we? There we go. Full load. 2 of them. And go. Now what we can do is we can see how fast these trains are going to be. They're going to be a little bit noticeably faster than the other ones. Hopefully. Right. Should be faster, shouldn't they? They should be able to go up to 241. I'm not sure why everything's being limited to 160. We'll see what this guy does when he leaves. So we'll just boost time a little bit here. What's the maximum speed you get up to? Seems to be 160. So is there a setting somewhere? I'm not sure if that's just a setting I'm missing, or what. Yeah, we got a lot of railroad. And detailed performance. So minimum profit's not doing well, but everything else is doing well, which is okay. I'm still not sure why all the trains max out at 160. So that'll be for later to figure out. I don't want new train. I don't want anything new, not right now. So now we're just going to have to get through all those messages. And we're already in 1994. So we only got about 6 years left. So as I said, I'm not too hopeful at making it to 250 million, but we're going to get decently close at least. I could use this to transport this route to this guy, but I don't think that's even worth my time. You make a lot of goods, and it probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Okay, so ship number 2 is getting old. So we're going to go to replace, and you are going to get, yep, we're going to start replacing just to make sure that that one gets updated. Not even sure where ship number 2 is. Not at this point. See, this city's only gotten up to like 6,000 so far, versus this one's almost at 24,000. And our other big city is at just about getting to 13, it looks like. As you can see, I haven't added as many stations here as I think I have added in here. Well, it looks about even. But this also has the big airport in it. Of course, they both have airports. I'm not sure why this one grew so much in such a short amount of time. I know that's considered a city, and I'm pretty sure this one's considered a city. So they just decided to grow at different rates. That's another interesting thing to note, is sometimes this game can be a little wacky with that stuff. And then this city, this didn't even start out as a city. It started out as a small town of, I think, like maybe 1,000, and it's grown into almost 8,000, roughly. It's got tons of coal being produced. Yeah, I could use more vehicles transporting, couldn't I? Where do I have a depot? There's the depot. Yep, we're going to clone you, make a bunch of you, and send you to go help. Because I have tons of coal just sitting here. I should probably get that transported. So I'm going to focus a couple trains that way. I think I figured out why everything's being limited. Because of the trains, or because of the train cars. So if we go here, and we go to this station, and then over to here, full load, we'll make 2 of you, and we'll have you go. I guess the Asia Star is a experimental train. So these guys should go to here and start transporting coal. I don't know if I have anyone doing that right now. Seems like I don't. But I have tons of coal sitting at that station. And even more sitting here. So if we go to ratings, coal is very poor. Passengers isn't too bad. So let's see what these guys can do. It should fix a few problems. And there we go. Alright, so it's been roughly about 20 minutes, guys, so I guess I'll end the episode here. I guess one cool thing that I didn't mention at the beginning of the episode, I've already recorded 50 videos, so that surprises me. I looked at that earlier when I was uploading a video, and I was like, oh, hey, look, this is like the 50th video I've done. I think this is number 51, if I'm correct. So I guess that's cool. Thank you for anyone that's still here watching. I guess please, as always, leave comments below as to games you want me to play. Any other comments you have for concerns or anything like that, or any tips. If you liked the video, please like it. If you do like the video, please subscribe. And thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.